those travelers who are traveling with us on the World Wide Web at gospelhighway11.com. We are so excited. I mean, really excited. Who would have thought that we have in the studio family members of the Davises? We have the late Thelma Davis. Blassingame has been here. Brother James, are you an elder?
Yes.
Elder James Blassingame. We have Thelma's two daughters here. We have Adeline, that we call Beth Ann,
Yes.
and we have the other sister, who is Patricia. And they call her Little Ann?
Lynn.
Oh, Lynn, like me, Lynn. Okay, two Lynns in the house. And we have the one who's a blessing, young Micah, who is Adeline's son. And he's the one who's been putting all these wonderful pictures and songs on YouTube and Facebook. And we'll be talking with him also a little later. Right now, I want to talk to the elder statesman because he was there in the beginning. Elder James, how did you meet Thelma Davis?
Well, I came to Philadelphia to live with my aunts when I was 17 years old.
They let you come up here from Augusta without any supervision?
Yes.
You just got on the bus or the train?
Yes, but my mother had passed.
Oh, okay.
And I was having a tough time because I was the oldest. I had to raise all the other children.
I see.
And me and my father had conflict because I wanted to keep him the same way my mother was carrying him.
Right.
And he was letting them do things that my mama didn't allow.
I see.
And it became so tough. I said, I'm packing up and leave these. Your children, you got them. And I came to Philadelphia.
How did you come by train or bus? How did you get up here?
On the bus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trailways?
Yep.
You have a brown bag with chicken sandwiches in there? You had to eat. That's a long ride.
Yeah, and a belt around with suitcase.
Now, did they have bathrooms on the bus back then? Was there a bathroom on the bus, or you had to make stops?
No, they made stops.
Oh,
I had the tickets about as long as your arm.
Oh, I remember those long tickets.
Yeah.
Because they had to stamp them at certain places, right?
Yeah, every time you get over here, take for your ticket.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you arrived in Philadelphia, the big city. Had you been here before?
Never been before.
What did you think of Philadelphia?
I was surprised because all the houses was joined together, and I couldn't tell one house from another.
Yeah.
I had to learn my address, and when I get home, I was looking at the address, make sure I was at the right house. And one night, I came in. I had been to New York with a friend of mine. He preached there, and came back home, and couldn't get in the house. I sat on the steps for the longest, crying. They didn't want me, and they put me out because they changed the lock on the door. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I looked up. I was on the wrong side of the steps.
That's right, because the steps are joined together sometime.
Yeah.
Well, so you were at Mount Zion Fire Baptized in the beginning, and that was at 21st and Columbia, which is now Cecil B. Moore Avenue.
Yes, that's where it was when they burnt down.
Yeah.
But when I came, they was on 10th Street, 1227 North 10th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there until 1951 or 2, somewhere along in there. When the city came through and bought the church, because they built houses all along it,
Right.
projects. And that's when we moved to Columbia Avenue. And we were there until the church burnt down.
Now, it was there on Calamity where you met Thelma Davis, is that correct?
I met them on 10th Street, yes.
Okay. Was she singing, or was she a singer at that time?
What it was 4 sisters of them.
I see.
And they sang in revival with their mother.
I see.
They were just the Davis sisters.
Right.
And all of them, accompanied their mother to revivals.
To revivals.
And they sang for them. But when they became popular, they started traveling. They called themselves the famous Davis sisters.
Right. Right.
Before they were just the Davis sisters singing in church.
Right. Now, you and Thelma got married when? How long was the courtship?
It's 85.
I would say about.
He's 85 years old, traveler. Oh, 82. 82. So it's going to take me a while to get his thoughts together.
Yeah, we got married in 1951.
Oh, okay.
I went in the army in 51. We got married in 1951.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my oldest son was born, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the church now because he had they had a meeting there today, and he had to be there.
Blassingame wouldn't let him out. I should call there. Loose that man and let him go. What's that phone number at Faith? I'm going to call him. Loose that man and let him go. 1500 block of 1 Ox Street. I see.
And I would walk from my house. I was living in 17th and Norris. I would walk to my house down to their house, and then we walk from there to the church down on 10th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk home together, from church. And, things just bloomed into one thing to
another.
Were
the other sisters jealous?
Yeah.
So you got the cream of the crop.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I always told them that.
Yeah.
The older sister, Edna, she didn't sing professionally with them. While they were children, she sang in church with them. But how children grew up and get away.
Oh yeah, and get away.
But Thelma, Ruth, Audrey, and Elfrida. And the first piano player they had was the Reverend James Newton. He was one of the ministers there. And
fire baptized.
Yeah.
So they stayed within that body of fire baptized. They didn't let them go out and fellowship nowhere else at that time. They stayed within their body from one church to another, fire baptized.
Right.
Now, you had a son also, right? Travis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who was, or you said on the interview, you would go around to Bernard's house, he'd take you all to the movies when you weren't supposed to go.
You know about that?
Oh, yeah, you told it.
Yeah, that's when they were on 6th Street.
And that's another thing. Did they ever live on 8th Street? Because somewhere in one of those write-ups on the computer,
they lived on 8th Street.
I didn't think so, but somebody put 8th Street, and this is why I'm glad.
On 6th Street.
It was 6th Street I knew about.
On 6th
They
Street.
moved,
then Cambria.
They moved from 1 Ox Street to 6th Street.
Right. This is why it's important not to go by hearsay. And again, the children were so little, they didn't know.
Right.
So it's up, you being the patriarch of the family at that age, you would know more of the history than anyone else.
That's right.
Because you got to be careful. Some things you read aren't really accurate all the time. They might mean well, but unless you talk to the person themselves and don't get secondhand information, then we find out what's what.
Yeah.
So you get married, you go off to the service, you come back, and you have 3 children at that time.
Right.
And then she died in what year? 56?
56.
January
56, yeah.
January of 56.
January
Ruth Davis died the same day back in
12 years later.
12 years later on the same day.
Same day.
Same day.
And funeral at the same church. Cornerstone. However, Thelma was at the original Cornerstone.
Broad and Master. And when baby sister died, Ruth.
Yeah, 33rd and Diamond.
They was on the
33rd Street. Right. In that house, when you got married, of course, she moved out of the house with the rest of the family. She moved with you and had children. Did you periodically go back to visit the other sisters? Did she go back sometime? When it was like for rehearsals? She had to go there for rehearsals.
No. I rented a house. The house became available down the street from them. They were at 21, and I moved down at 17. And lived there until I went in the Army. And when I came out of the Army, then I went back to live with them on 6th Street.
So you went like the 3rd floor?
Yeah.
You and Thelma had the 3rd floor?
Yeah.
So you all family was still all together?
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Going to play some more music, and then we'll come back and talk some more with our guests, part of the Davis sisters family that we're so excited came to be with us today. Usually we just got the music, but now we got the family and the music. So let's go back to some more Davis sisters. Well, we've had an interesting conversation here. Thelma's you're the oldest daughter.
Yes.
Adeline. Okay. Well, why do they call you Miss Cadillac? Tell that story, please.
Because I was born in the Cadillac. I don't know. I had to have heard the story.
Yes.
But there was a friend of the family always called me Miss Cadillac because that's where I was born. I didn't get to the hospital.
Now, Elder James, you said that what happened was you were in the service at the time.
Yes, I was in the Army at the time.
You were at the Army, so they had to get her to the nearest hospital. She went out to sing. Is that correct?
She was supposed to go down to the Naval Hospital.
The Naval Hospital.
She would go all the way to the Army Hospital in Valley Forge.
That's a long ways.
Yes. And this guy, Brownie, was driving the Cadillac, and they had a friend staying with them, Roberta Thacker. She's supposed to be a LPN, and she gets in the back seat and had Thelma in the front seat.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
That was kind of
Brownie
stupid.
said that he was trying to drive, and when they got the cop told him, and said the cop was at 202 highway, was just a little 2-lane highway then.
Right.
And they're going around them curves, and he's trying to keep up with the cop. And the cop flies, he's going down there 100 miles an hour.
Oh, my God. And there's some curves around there.
Got all down the seat, and all, her legs almost around his neck. And he flying, trying to keep with the cops. But when they got there, the baby had already come. So they brought everything out to the car.
Oh, my God. Miracle baby. The
car.
miracle baby.
Yeah, that's what they had to have.
That's a Cadillac.
But they couldn't put it in the place where regular babies were because it was unclean birth, they said.
Right.
And there she came.
You don't have any ailments or anything, did you?
No, I'm fine.
And the only baby that was born in the hospital was Lynn.
Okay.
Because Travis, she had just come from singing and made it to Phildelphia General, but he was born on the elevator, going to the living room.
Your oldest son? He was born on the elevator. What is it with you all?
On the way to the delivery room.
Poor Thelma.
She had to keep her appointments to sing.
And she passed because it has been written that she came out too soon after giving birth to sing.
Lynn
was the last one. And instead of her staying in for a week or so, she came out too soon. And was you born in the wintertime? September, so it might have been a little chilly back then for her. Those singers start sweating and come outside and the robes on. And
she was so having such a chill, they put on the floor of the car and piled all their coats on the top and robes and everything. God. But they had a program up in Connecticut, I think it was. It was in the wintertime.
Yes.
And it was cold. And she caught that fever, and that fever lasted for about a month, and she left here.
My God. And when you went to the hospital, she told you she wanted to come home.
Yeah. She said, Jane, I want to go home. I said, Thelma, you can't go home. You just got your baby. She said, Jane, how do people go home?
Huh.
And that Sunday night, I was up there and left. She got, I didn't know then that death was on her. But she got out of the bed and started trying to find out, I'm going with you, I'm going back. I said, I got to go get the kids. I'm going with you. So I went and got the nurse, and they come and told her to get back in the bed. She said, I want my husband to stay here and pray with me all night. We used to pray all night together. And she said, he got to go get the children. And the nurse gave her a needle. And she said, stuck me so let my husband stick me. He said, no, but he my husband, he can stick me if he wanted. And the nurse put this needle in her thigh. She said, thank you, nurse. That's the best nail I had. And she went to sleep. And that's why I thought them folk killed my wife. Because that next morning, that Monday morning, it was New Year's Day. But by being on the Sunday, New Year's was that Monday.
Right.
And they called me early that morning and said, come at once. I ran out the door and ran right into a taxi. I said, take me to the hospital, front and Lehigh. And got out of the taxi, caught the other one up to the second floor, and just I got off the elevator and started to the room, the nurse was coming out the room, closing the door. So, so she just left. And that goes, boom. I thought fainting was phony.
Oh,
you
no.
tell something, and they just go out. But when she said she just let somebody hit me in my knee, and I went out like a light.
I know.
And I don't know how long I was out. I came through. They had me on the stretcher down the hallway.
How many years were you married?
5.
Such a short time.
5 years. Yes, indeed.
We just never know.
You never know.
You never know. If she hadn't did this, it's up to God.
That's right.
It's all in His plan. Thank God she gave you 3 beautiful children.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the blessing. Yes. So her legacy goes on, and now her children have children.
I had prayed when I got married, and I asked the Lord, let my first child be a girl, and I wanted to be a preacher. And I would name her after my mama, because my mama was a preacher. And she wasn't the firstborn. She was the second, but I still named her after my mother, Adeline.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a preacher. That girl preached this morning.
Yeah.
Really?
She preached too. Oh, my Lord. That girl is an anointed preacher. You hear me?
I believe
Yes,
you.
indeed.
I do believe you.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
God
Yes,
has
indeed.
touched men and women
Mhm.
and children sometimes.
And
Yes.
one trait she
To
have
speak
from her
his
mother
word.
is that winsome way. She have a winsome smile, and everybody's crazy about it.
Yeah. But when I saw her on YouTube, I said, I don't remember her. I remember coming to the restaurant. I remember doing an interview with you because when 1998, when the Gospel Music Workshop was honoring the pioneers, and I honored the Angelics, the Ward Singers, the Imperials, the Dixie Hummingbirds, Victory Choral Union, and the Savettes. And I said, the Davis sisters, but no one got in touch with you. Now, I don't know whether it's my fault or what, but we weren't able to get in touch with the Davis sisters. Every time we asked them, I don't know, but they all gone now. Blah, blah. But for some reason, maybe Fred Blaine hooked it up because he and his wife belonged to Faith Tabernacle. And when we did to the restaurant, I said, let's do it then. I don't want it to go undone. I've got the medal. Let's do it for them.
Right.
And that's when we had you come up to the restaurant. There was a lady that came in with you all. I don't know what her name was, but she looked like baby sis.
That was
Yeah.
Aunt Mary.
Mary.
That
It
was
was
their
spooky.
brother's wife.
Bernard's wife.
Uh-huh.
It was
Bernard's
kind of
wife.
scary to me because I looked over there. She looked so much like baby sis. Same complexion.
Yeah.
And I kept, I didn't want to stare at her, but every now and then I look over there and I said, wow, that looks like, and I said, she must be family. She must be. And so, what's her name?
That was Uncle Bernard, their brother Bernard. Aunt Mary married Bernard.
Okay.
So, and she's the only one that's left out of them.
She's the only one still there. All of them is gone. Every piano player they had is dead. Everybody
That's
sang
because
was
Bobby
dead.
Beatty's going too.
Yeah,
Bobby Beatty's one.
Yeah.
I think they said, I think Bobby Beatty's the one that used to call me Miss Cadillac.
Born in the Cadillac. Now all you got to do is say it on the 4th of July. We're talking with members of the Davis sisters family. We have Elder Blassingame and his 2 daughters and the grandson, Micah, who we're going to be talking with also. And we're going back to some more music by the Sweethearts of America. For me, and he's keeping me alive. It's an afternoon again with the Davis sisters, and again we have the family in the house here. We have Elder James Blassingame, who was the husband of the late Thelma Blassingame, and of course he has his 2 children here, 2 ladies. He has a son, but AT wouldn't let him go, so he's over at Faith Tabernacle right now on Susquehanna Avenue, dedicated to the church. God bless him. I'll deal with that man. But we thank you for you all coming up here. And now your grandson, Beth Ann, is here. His name is Micah.
That's my
Micah.
father's grandson. That's my son.
But, yeah, I said your son, Adeline's son. That's
Yes.
your son, Miss Cadillac's son. All right,
Yeah.
Miss Cadillac's son is Micah. Micah, swing that microphone over to you. And now, how old are you, if you don't mind telling us?
I'm 23.
23, and he is the one, for those of you who have been on YouTube or Facebook, Micah is the one who is actually have a Facebook page for the Davis sisters, an actual page with a history, interviews, and also a lot of music on there, a lot of hard-to-get music. So you've been collecting their music. Has the records been passed down to the family?
Yes, we have a couple. Not a lot.
Amongst all them cousins?
I don't
I
know. And Audrey's children may have more.
Mm-hmm.
I think Niecy and Darlene, Joe Willie, Pooge. She has 4 kids.
Audrey has 4.
Yeah.
Frida had how many?
2.
Frida had
boys.
2. And
That's it.
that's it.
Well, we have Edna.
Edna.
Yeah. But she didn't say with them, but she does have a son.
Okay.
He's the one that took us to the movies.
That was so funny when you said that. I was drinking a soda or something, and I almost choked. I got so tickled when you said, Uncle, we go visit Uncle Bernard, because you all were not allowed to go to the movies at that time. That forbidden. I don't know if they still feel that way.
No, we're pretty cool now.
Okay, because there was a time
Oh, the Saints didn't go to the movies?
The Saints couldn't go to movie. They had a lot of don'ts.
Yeah.
A lot of don'ts. And at one time, they couldn't go to the beach.
Okay.
I don't know if the fire
That was
baptized.
before my time.
Maybe it's the apostolics, but they weren't allowed to go to the beach because you'd be exposing your body. You couldn't go to college because they didn't want you to lose the teachings. They were afraid that you'd be learning something in college against what the pastor was teaching you here. So it's a matter of control. The bottom line was control, trying to keep control. But I'm glad you were. So when you said Uncle Bernard was take you all to the movie, that thing tickled me. So you couldn't tell your parents when you got home that you went to the movies. That Uncle Bernard took you.
Well, Junie was there. And
I was a deacon in the church, and I was a strict enforcer of the rules.
Oh my God!
So
you couldn't tell him?
No.
Oh my God!
But we would go to the Pearl Theater on Ridge
Avenue.
Yes.
What was so? When you look back now, Elder Blassingame, what was so bad about children going to the movies? There were nothing but cowboy films, and there was nothing X-rated or R-rated back then.
Right. Most of the things, like, oh my goodness, the things that you see now on TV, oh my Lord. Them folks
but that's what get me.
Come back here.
Yeah, that's what get me. The Saints won't go to the movie, but they'll watch them things. They'll watch Scandal and stuff on television.
Yeah.
That's a big hit.
Saying that you wasn't supposed to follow after anything that was calculated to destroy your spirituality.
I see.
We were supposed to live as spiritual and close to God as we could.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the rules was built on that thing. If it was anything too worldly, we wasn't supposed to be a part of it.
Could you go roller skating?
No.
Mm-hmm. Was it
From what I remember, they couldn't even play ball.
No ball?
And
no marbles.
You couldn't play jacks or marbles?
No.
Wasn't supposed to.
Well...
And on Sunday, they couldn't even skip rope.
Oh, no, Sundays.
Not on
No.
Sunday.
Well, a lot of places were closed on Sundays anyway, Elder Blassingame. You know, a lot of their stores and things were closed. They have what they call the blue law. So everything was closed on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So the best you could do is sit on your porch and talk and play with your friends a little bit. But after you change your Sunday church clothes.
That's right.
Change them clothes first. But then sometimes you ended up going back to church in the evening, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was all day thing.
Sometimes you went there in the morning and you didn't come back
Tonight.
to the last service at night.
Yes. In the Baptist church, we had what they call BTU, Baptist Training Union. 6 o'clock, you come back to church.
Yeah. And we had HYPU, Holy Young People's Union.
Okay.
And you stay. And then they had YPI, the Young People's Institute.
Well, what kind of activities were you all doing when you get together? So YIPP, whatever. What did you all do?
Stuff that got us a beating.
They were taught the books of the Bible. They were taught different Bible verses.
I see.
And the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples, all they had to do that by heart.
Yeah.
And the whole
you have to get up and recite those things.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, y'all couldn't dance?
Dance. That's the kind of stuff that would get you a beating.
Yeah.
Listen, in the house, we couldn't listen to DAS or HAT unless it was Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So when you did stuff, you had to sneak and do it.
Sneak and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, your parents did it too. Mahalia Jackson did it. As soon as their parents went out, they put on the old 78s, Bessie Smith, the blues singer. They all listened to those because those female singers during that era had no gospel soloists, female, to look up to or listen to. Mm-hmm. You know, you had Rosetta Thorpe, but they listened to those who are older. Listen to those Bessie Smith, Ma Rainey. They listened to them because that's the only female singers they heard. We had the original Georgia Peach. Now she was a gospel singer. Clara Hudman. You had Queen C. Anderson. She was from down south. She was a very famous singer, but they only make 1 or 2 records. So they had no one else to listen to. But I think when you restrict children too much, when they get a certain age, out they go. They want a taste of the world.
Yeah, we had Victrolas. We didn't even have radio. My aunt had a radio, and when the boxing games would come on, Joe Louis especially, we'd go down there and all sit on the floor, get around the radio and listen to the fight. But we had a big troller, and we played,
wind it, turn it around, crank it up.
Put the thing on there.
Yep.
And the
more heavy thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And what kind of music did you listen to?
It was all had to be church music. We listened to Reverend Gates.
You know about J.M. Gates?
Oh, yeah. He put out a record called Death May Be Your Santa Claus.
I have it home.
Death May Be Your Santa Claus.
I have it home. I played it in December. Death's Train to Hell or something? The other one, McPherson. What in the hell do you want? These were exciting titles, captivating titles, the world is in a hell of a fix, and you better get right with God. The bootlegger and the moonshiner, and he's the gambling man, and y'all better get right with God. The world's in a hell of a fix. But these were very popular sellers. They were big-time record sellers. I have them home. And as I told you earlier, a female, missionary Josephine Miles, God's warning to the church. And so you were listening to those.
Piano. Self-play piano. And I would go down there.
It wasn't a regular piano, was it?
Yeah, they put the roller in there.
Put the roller in there.
You watch the keys, you had to play.
You watch the keys, pretend you're playing.
Come to the church in the
wildwood. Oh, come to the church in the vale.
No one seems so dear to my childhood
as a little round church in the vale.
Amazing.
I remember that. It's 5:41 in Philadelphia. We're sitting here having fellowship with members of the Davis sisters family here. We have Elder James Davis, who was married to the late Thelma Davis, her 2 daughters, and her great-grand. That would have been her great-grand, wouldn't it?
No, grand.
Her grandson.
That would be her
You're the daughter. Yeah, Micah would have been the good. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm getting confused now. So, Micah, what inspired you to actually start this thing on Facebook?
Oh, because when I was looking around, I didn't see no Facebook page, so I said, let me try to make a Facebook page, like, keep the memory alive.
Nobody told you to do it? You just did it on your own?
Yep, just did it on my own.
Wow. That is amazing. And you're able to get these songs? You got these pictures and things?
Yeah. Sometimes on my tablet, I just, because I found out how to edit on my tablet, so I just edit some of the pictures, too, and put some color on some of the old ones.
Right. Those of you who are on Facebook, you owe it to, if you love the Davis sisters as much as most people do in this country, you owe it to yourself to go on there. Or if you didn't join Facebook, they can also go on YouTube, can't they?
Yeah, they can go on YouTube.
YOUTUBE. It's free. It's free, and it's a lot. I have 1,000 things on there, and so you got all those Davis sisters things on there.
Yeah, on my channel, Blavis 50.
Davis
is I named my YouTube channel Blavis 50. BLAVIS. BLAVIS
50. And or if you go on YouTube, you will see all this remarkable music on the Davis sisters. And when I'm done, I'm going to make sure that they get a copy of the 146 songs I have, because I don't think they have some of these songs. But we're going to share them with you. We're traveling on Philly's first all-gospel music station. Good afternoon to those traveling on the World Wide Web at GospelHighway11.com. I call Jesus my wonderful counselor, and Micah said I played that last week, but it's all right. It's all Davis sisters, so it's all good. We can't go wrong with the Davis sisters. We were talking to Micah. Micah, you have pictures. You actually met Albertina Walker, Dorothy. You met these people.
Well, I missed on Albertina Walker because she died before I could able to get to her.
I see.
But I met. They was having a tribute concert to her after she died.
Right.
At the Met, Holy Ghost headquarters.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and I was able to meet after it was over. I met Dorothy Norwood, Dolores Washington,
Inez,
and Inez. And then later on that year, like maybe like a couple months later, Deliverance was celebrating 50 years, and Shirley Caesar came and sung a concert over there.
Really?
And I was able to meet Shirley Caesar.
And you told her who you were?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Because some people don't know they had children. You know, some people who love the Davises just say, oh, it's a shame they're all gone before they reach 60. When if they got any family? Yes, they have family. Yes, they got a lot of children.
Yes.
And certainly Micah's the one who's putting them on Facebook and putting them on YouTube. So, and he's meeting these other pioneer artists to let them know who he is. So they're still here. There's still family left from the Davis sisters. And we have some of them here today. And I'm sure, like I said, Audrey has how many?
4.
Audrey has 4.
Frida has 2.
Frida has 2.
2 boys, yes.
And Edna has 1. Okay. And you have?
I have 3. Oh, goodness. Lynn has 2.
Okay.
Niecy, how many grandchildren Niecy has now? Goodness. She got a couple. And Audrey has grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is really amazing. I'm so glad you came up today. I really appreciate it and showing up some of the history. Elder Blassingame, in those years when you came up here, it had to be the 50s, wasn't it? Early 50s? You were here in the early 50s.
The 40s. I came here in 1945, I think it was.
Was there a time when there were 3 people that would come through the neighborhood on Saturdays and they sing these songs?
Yes.
Guitar player.
Yes.
One was Carl Mead, Reverend Carl Mead. One was
Willie Eason.
My God, I forgot about Willie. And also Howard Carroll, who played a guitar for the Dixie Hummingbirds.
Yeah.
I was told they would go all around neighborhoods on Saturday, and they sing these songs, and if you liked it, you come out the house and give them 10 cents, and they give you a sheet of paper with the song with it. Is that true?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who told me, Thomasina Johnson James.
Oh.
And she told me, I had 4 ladies up here. I call them the Golden Ladies of Gospel. And Blanche Taylor. And Blanche said, oh, yeah, they would come around different neighborhoods. And if you go out there and you give them 10 cents, they would give you what they call ballads. You'd give you a piece of paper with the words on it. I said, well, how you all remember the sound? What does it sound like? They said, we remembered. But it was just amazing to think here in Philadelphia, and you just told me where some churches were located back in those days. We just knew them at where they are today, but you're taking us back to fire baptized on, what was it, Fort Hill?
Fort Hill, yeah.
Fort Hill. Gethsemane, St. Peter. Yeah,
what was Little's Temple? Was that fire baptized?
No, the founder of Little's Temple pulled out from the fire baptized.
Okay.
M.B. Little's.
Okay.
That was a preaching lady.
That's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, see, when I found out about it was Mother Richardson. We used to go visit with her, Mother Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson.
Because Lillian McCoy,
Yes.
Naomi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, those girls could sing.
Heavenly
Thompson,
Dewdrops.
yeah.
Oh, the Heavenly Dewdrops and Johnny Thompson singers. And we just had...
We just fellowship with them last Thursday.
With who?
With Lillian McCoy. Open
Really?
Door Mission, yes.
How's
I
she
preached there
doing?
last Thursday. Good. She's doing well.
That's good.
You know,
Pretty lady.
I'll tell you a little funny story about Beth Ann and Travis. We had a pastor, Reverend Walker. He picked the guitar all the time. Bless that wonderful name of Jesus.
Right.
So he had a little play guitar. He'd always pick that little guitar, and they would sing a song, building up the temple of the Lord. So on the program, they had a program out the Met, and Thelma said, my children here, they're going to sing a song for you. And they got up there, they're supposed to get up there and sing building up the temple. They got up there, Travis looked at Beth Ann looked at Travis. Beth Ann said, Davy, tacked it. And everybody fell out of the leg.
King of our frontier.
That was so changed. You know what to do.
What made you sing Davy Crockett? You weren't even supposed to be watching television at that time. What you know about Davy Crockett?
I don't even remember it. I just remember they telling me about it. I don't remember doing it.
It's funny how we get amnesia when we don't want to remember something.
Well,
I was too young. I don't remember that.
You have to remember that when Mom Thelma passed, I was only 3.
Oh, that's right.
And that was something that happened before she passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have no recollection of her whatsoever?
It's hard for me to remember. Mm-hmm. It's like bits and pieces of things that I remember. I'm unsure.
Do you have pictures of her?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unsure whether it's something that I really remember or something that I was told.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And you can get it.
Yeah.
Mixed. Yeah.
But when I look at the pictures, I said to my husband, I took a picture of my mom, and I showed it and asked him who it was. He thought it was me.
Wow. Your mother was a little lighter than you, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
I never saw her. When I came around, it was 1957. So I missed all the early years because Gertrude Ward would help take the Davises around and help them out, right?
Yeah.
And she spoke at the funeral, at Thelma's funeral. Well, back to some more Davis sisters. We got excited because we have the family of the Davis sisters here in the studio with us, and we're just certainly excited about that. I got the songs all mixed up. You know, I always tell people playing one Davis is like eating one potato chip. You can't do it. You can't eat just one potato chip. You cannot just play one Davis sister. You just have to play some more of them. Elder Blassingame, when Thelma passed, who took care of the daughters, the children? You did? Weren't you working?
They wanted me to, well, my sister moved in and she helped me.
Oh, okay.
But they wanted me to divide my children.
Oh.
Pop David wanted Beth Ann. They wanted me to give Travis to his godmother. And one of the members of the church wanted Lynn. But when I was to the hospital with Thelma, I thought I was going to die. And I was telling Thelma about where all my papers were.
Was that your first love?
She said, no, James.
Was she your first love?
Yes. Yes. He said, no, James, it's me. He said, I'm going to die. He said, but promise me one thing, you won't divide my children. And that's what I did. I kept my children together. And I said, if we starve, we all starve together. And I would keep my kids together.
Did you have a job at this point?
Yeah.
Were you working?
Yes, I was working for the government.
Oh, okay. So you got a nice little salary.
I came home one day, and my sister had dressed Travis up in a girl's dress. And I hit the ceiling. I said, why would you? Because you were playing with her dolls. And if you want to be, I said, don't you ever do that no more. Ooh, I was so mad. Don't you ever do that no more.
Fire baptized.
Yes, indeed.
Well, how old was Travis?
Travis must have been about, I don't know how old Travis must have been about 4 or 5 years old, something like that.
Well, did you have any other toys for him to play with in the house?
Huh?
Was there some toys for him? You had little army things or tanks or guns or something for him to play with? Was he a cowboy?
He had his own toy and everything, but for some reason, because he wanted to play with a doll, they were going to try to dress him up as a girl. Don't you do nothing like that. Ooh, you talk. I better put it out of my house.
Oh, no.
Well, he had no right to do that because it wasn't his child.
Right.
So he had no right to do that, but he probably thought it wasn't no harm. Well, you want to play with dolls? I'll put a dress on you. That was the mentality of him at that time. That was his mentality.
Wouldn't mind.
No. Fellas can play with dolls. It doesn't mean girls play with the little airplanes and cowboys.
Right.
It doesn't matter. When you start forcing things on them and stealing things, because children don't know.
Right.
They don't know. But when you come along with your dogmatic nonsense, that really upsets the boat sometimes. It upsets the boat. But that's funny. You told him, don't you ever do it.
Yes, indeed.
So you raised them with the help of your sister.
Yeah.
That's when. Well, she did a good job.
So I was a widower 14 months. Then I got married again.
14 months?
Yeah, 14 months I was a widower.
That's a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
A year and 4 months. Well.
You couldn't have picked a better one, though.
Well, praise the Lord.
I'm telling you, that lady
Better than burning.
because we had a talk when I sit down. I said, now, if you're going to marry me, you take my children as your own. Because if you be mean to them, there ain't going to be no getting along. I'll get you. Don't you be mean to my kids. He said, oh, no. And
Was she fire baptized?
yes.
Yes, she was.
She was a nice, saved lady. And she died 3 years ago.
Oh, so you were with her a long time.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
But
So
she was a
she
Jew.
raised these wonderful children then.
Yes, she
indeed.
did. Did a
That's
fantastic
about
job.
all the mama did. I mean, Beth Ann and Trav may remember, but Lynn don't remember her. And we used to tease Lynn. We would show her a picture of Thelma. Who is that? She said, I don't know. Show her Thelma a bee. She said, Mama. That's Mama.
Oh.
That's the only Mama she ever knew.
That she ever knew. Yeah. Now, she was born in the elevator? Or was
No,
that?
Trav was born in the
Travis-
she was born in the hospital down there at 8th and Spruce,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Hospital. She's the only one that was
Born in the
decent.
hospital.
You're the only one that was normal.
Okay. So you all are still very active. Micah, you a part of Faith Tabernacle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. I see.
He's doing a lot of the sound.
Oh, okay.
He's the one to take care of all our tapes.
Oh, okay.
It's tape ministry.
They got a tape ministry?
Yeah.
Go ahead, AT.
Audio visual.
Audio visual.
Well, not visual yet. We're
Don't-
working.
Audio is great.
Okay.
Audio, then we ain't got to look at them. Audio is wonderful. And the pastor there is still Pastor Blassingame. What's his name? I'll call him
Albert.
Albert. Fat Albert. Okay. Albert Blassingame. My. How long has he been pastor there?
Oh, goodness.
Since 1982.
Okay.
Our pastor walked away. We had Lorenzo. And AT became our pastor.
Where was AT before then?
He was just a minister of the church.
I see.
He did a lot of
He was an
evangelism.
evangelist. See, he would travel a lot around
Mm-hmm.
Patricia and things.
But then when we found ourselves without a pastor, it was consensus, more or less, go within. And so he's been there ever since.
How is it in the Fire Baptized Church if a pastor dies or leaves? Do you then bring in others and then eventually vote on who you would like to, the majority will vote on who they would like for the preacher?
Yeah.
Or do you take the easy way and say, well, this one's been here all the time, we might as well let him be the pastor? You do vote?
We do vote, yeah.
Okay.
When we were looking for a pastor, you consider what you have with you, but you also look outside.
Oh, you,
of
absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely.
And for us, it just worked out very well that we were able to stay within,
Hmm.
but there was still a vote.
So who plays the organ there now?
Right now, you know, Fred was our organist for
Right.
a long time, and then his daughter. But God has been so good to us, a young man that was raised up in the church, no real music ability, but God so anointed him, and now he's just coming along real well.
Makes a difference.
Yes, it does. It
Makes a
makes a big
difference.
difference. And for a while, Sister Lita, Pastor's Bishop Blassingame's wife,
Hmm.
she was tinkling those keys real good for us for a minute.
Okay.
But we just kept carrying on until God
Hmm.
anointed our brother Matthew.
How's your music ministry? Are you all still singing songs from the 40s and 50s, or have you all moved up a little?
Moved up a whole lot.
Okay.
Right now, my other son, my oldest son, Milton, is acting as minister of music.
Oh,
I think the gift of singing fell on him.
where is he at today?
He actually is at the church.
Held hostage. Okay, I understand.
No, he probably went home to take a nap because he just got back in from down south. He was singing down south with his cousin, and so they just got back. He needed a little sleep.
Right, I understand. Well, I'm glad Micah came,
Yeah.
since he is a computer wizard and he knows all about how to hook those things
Yes,
up.
he does.
And his, what is that, a tablet or iPad?
Yeah, the tablet, Galaxy 3 tablet.
You getting a commercial?
Oh,
And so that's not a telephone, though, is it?
it could be
Oh, Lord Jesus. Let's go back to some music.
like a Swiss Army knife.
And where are you going to run to? It's an afternoon with the Davis sisters, and we have the Davis sisters family here in the building. Sister Thelma's, the late Thelma Davis, and her children, and her grandson is here, Micah. They're here in the building with us. So we're just playing the music that they grew up on as little kids, so they didn't really know that much about them. Now,
Yes.
Adeline, getting ready to call you Sweet Pea. No, it's Beth Ann.
Yes.
How long you been preaching?
Oh, goodness, more than 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, your father just sat here earlier and said, she preached this morning and she really preached. She is anointed. Are you just saying that because that's your daughter, or did she really preach?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did AT jump up? Did he move?
You know what the thing is that he says often? He always says that I'm his daughter, and my father just thinks I'm his. I told him, don't say that.
Anything comes out that man's mouth. He is not responsible.
If you really truly love the Lord, jump up on those feet. That's my jumping days is over.
Well, he's younger than you, so you jump for me.
Yeah.
He can't jump with somebody.
He can't jump. That man can't jump. No. So you've been preaching for 25 years. Do you go out a lot?
Oh, yeah. There's been opportunities for pretty much across the United States. Recently, I have a proposition I might travel to Africa.
Wow.
Trying to see how that's going to work.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's God.
I envy you getting back to the motherland.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. Now, Micah, are you preaching?
Telling jokes though.
Yeah, he's the jokester.
Praise God. Somebody's got to have some humor. Well, you should hang around AT. You learn a lot from your pastor. He knows a lot of jokes. That man knows a lot of jokes.
Yes, he does.
I have to get over there to see him. I miss him. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, but I told you he called here and told me to go out and get some fish. And I said, why? Because you need some brain food, Linwood. And then he said goodbye. Hung up the phone.
One time he told me, what do you call a fish? One time he told me, what do you call a fish? What do you call a fish that has two knees? He says it's called a two-knee fish.
We have the family of the Davis sisters here in our studio. God bless them for coming today and getting away. We want to thank my good friend Pastor Blassingame for allowing them, these grown people, to spend some time with me before you hold them hostage and make them come back again. Now, what did he tell you when you told him he was coming here, Elder Blassingame? What did he say?
He said he need to interview somebody because they talk about. There's somebody says about what were the Davis sisters before they were the Davis sisters. I don't know who said it.
Well, who were they?
They were always Davis sisters. That was their
They
name.
were born the Davis sisters.
Were they the Davis specials? Was there a specials?
When did they be? When were they using?
Was there ever a
special?
Davis sister specials?
When they really became to go into travel, they called it the famous Davis sisters.
Okay. Somewhere I read, and I need you to correct it, it said that they went to the parents' house in Port Deposit, Maryland. Do you know anything about the family being out there in Port Deposit, Maryland?
They had a program in Postal Maryland one time.
Well, you know what's funny? You mentioned that. When I interviewed Frances Stedman from the Ward Singers, Frances said before she came to Phildelphia, she sang with her sisters and her aunt in Baltimore. They were called the Stedman Sisters. She said, and this preacher invited her group from Baltimore to come up to Port Deposit, Maryland, and that's when they first heard the Davis sisters. And I said, well, who was the pastor of that church? They said, R.T. Jones.
Wow.
R.T. Jones, before he came to Phildelphia with Christian Tabernacle. That was the first time Frances said she met the Davis sisters. So the Stedman sisters met the Davis sisters.
Wow.
So that was back in the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s. So I understand you have to get back to your evening service. This is the Holy Week. I should have told you to bring me some palms. Because today is Palm Sunday.
Today is Palm
Sunday. I can't tell you what a delight it is to have you all here today.
Amen.
This has been a blessing. I'm so glad, and I'm friends. Am I friends with you on Facebook, Michael? I'm not?
No.
Well, how do I get on your page?
I don't know.
Do you share or tag me or something?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Micah is the grandson, and he's only 22 or 23 years old, but he is on the computer. If you really want to learn, if you love the Davis sisters, you want to see pictures, of the different sisters and early pictures. And if you want to see or listen to some of the music, he keeps you up to date with what's going on with the Davises. I'm glad that the Lord had him come along so that these people would not be forgotten. You know, it's one thing to play the records, but to see these early pictures and to see Thelma's husband, who is still here, still very alert, the chairman of the deacon board.
Yeah.
It has to get back to Faith Tabernacle there, 2204 Susquehanna Avenue.
19th Street.
19th Street. So if you ever want to meet some of the Davis sisters' family, they're right there at Faith Tabernacle. Stop over there, and they're there just about every Sunday, I'm sure. Morning, noon, and night, I'm sure. Does the man ever go on vacation?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so you all have a little freedom.
Yeah.
Who takes over?
We have a pastor, a woman, Pastor Furby.
Oh, okay. Not of the Furby sisters, right?
No,
okay.
Different Furby.
Okay.
But we'll be there all week because it's Holy Week.
Holy Week.
And then Good Friday service.
Are you allowed to preach during the Good Friday service? You
Yes.
do one of the 7 last words?
Oh, yes.
Good. Good. I just might come. What day are you? What is that? That's Good Friday.
That's Good Friday, 12 to 3.
Okay.
And on Thursday evening, we have Holy Communion.
And she's preaching.
I'm preaching then on
You're
Thursday,
preaching?
Maundy Thursday.
Okay. Well, tell Pastor Blassingame to save me his parking spot in front of the church. Because I live in Jersey, and if I come over there, I have one of the parking spots.
Okay.
I'm special. I knew him before you all knew him.
Okay.
Except for...
You remember for me? I was there when you were born.
He stepped into that one.
Well, I thank you so much for coming up to be with me today. You've made this day. Usually I'm sitting here by myself, nobody to talk to, but I'm so glad that you came to be a part of this day here at Gospel Highway 11 and to Precious Memories. You are a blessed family. I'm glad you're carrying on the tradition of just being spiritual. It's not all about singing all the time, but just carrying the Word of God around with you. And we're going to get some pictures before you leave so we can... So the brother here, he's got one of those fancy tablets or whatever you call them things. He can take those pictures and put them on Facebook.
Yeah.
I didn't get dressed up today either, but I'm just glad to see you all.
We're glad that you...
And I will come. I promise you I will come visit sometime.
That'd be wonderful.
Let me know when he's on vacation. We've been talking to Elder James Blassingame, Adeline, known as Beth Ann, Patricia, and Micah, and we thank you so much for coming up today. Be a part of Precious Memories. Let's go back to the Davis sisters.